Hello, and welcome back to Invitation to Puzzles, where today we have a Somedoku for you. So we have here a Somedoku, which remember from a previous video, or learn for the first time, is not quite regular Sudoku. In fact, it's not really at all regular Sudoku. In a Somedoku, what happens is that in every row and column, the number of different digits that show up is equal to the row or column number. So, for example, in row 5, there will be digits in every cell, but only 5 of them will be different digits. So you'll have to do some heavy repeating in order to make that happen. In fact, actually, in row 1, there's only going to be 1 digit. So you're going to put the same digit in all 9 of these cells. Important to note also, row 9 and column 9 are your lifeline to sanity, because row 9 and column 9 work like a regular Sudoku, where you have one of each digit and everything goes sort of quote unquote normally. So that will actually work at least somewhat reasonably. Okay, and then we have a bunch of usual constraints. So, for example, we have these thermometers, where my digits have to get strictly larger as I go along. I have killer cages, and you'll notice the author has very appropriately here put these exclamation points here to reminder. Here we're allowing digits to repeat in killer cages, which is a reasonable thing to do here. We have black dots, where one digit is double the other. White dots, where one digit is consecutive with the other. Arrows, where the digit in the circle is the sum of the other two numbers along the arrow. X's, where the number sums to 10, V's where the numbers sum to 5, and then a square that is going to give me an even number, and a circle that's going to give me an odd number. All right, there is a link in the description, so you can give the puzzle a go yourself. And let's go ahead and give it a go ourselves now. Okay, so here I think it's useful to start in column 9, because this needs to read 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in order that every number show up once and the ones along the thermo show up in order. Okay, now that's going to be pretty useful because row 1 only has 1 digit in it, and we now know that that digit is 2. Column 1 only has 1 digit in it, and we now know that digit is 2. So, in fact, in all of these puzzles, you'll have this sort of border, a right angle around the outside where all of these things are the same. But now we can actually write in what's going on in row 9, which is that we need to do that. We still need the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and they need to go in order. And now, actually, row 2 and column 2 here now both have the digits 2 and 3. They only get 2 digits, and we've already got a 2 and a 3 in both of them. Okay. Now, just be warned, there's no reason in general why row 2 and column 2 have to have the same digits in them. It just so happens in this puzzle that we do have the same digit in row 2, or the same digits in row 2 and column 2. Okay, some of this is useful. So, for example, this thermo we can fill in. That digit's odd. This number is bigger than 2. This number is the sum of 2 other numbers, so it better be 3, 2, and 1. Over there like that. Let's see, going down here, those are a 2 and a 3. This is a 2 and a 3. Well, 2 and a 3 we know goes with a 2 and a 3, even if we don't know which one is which. These two numbers add to 6, so they better be double 3. And now in column 3, we actually have all of our numbers. They're 2, 3, and 4. So we can fill that in. However, if you actually look at row 3, now the numbers in row 3 are actually 1, 2, and 4. So be careful about that. So that does tell me that this digit's a 2, and that's a 3, because 1, 2, and 4 don't include 3. This thermo actually now has to go 2, 3, 4. Making that number a 6 across the black dot, that number a 1 across the V, and a 2 across the white dot, 3 across the V. That number's got to be a 4 because it's got to be bigger over there. Okay, so now we've got 2, 3, and 5 and 6 in this row. That's it. So 2, 3. Yeah, so these are 2, 3, 5, 6. Well, this isn't 3 or 5 because it's even. And in fact, actually, this thermo is very helpful now. In fact, just these 3 cells of this thermo alone are enough to tell you it's got to be 2, 3, 4. But now these 2 actually tell me it's 5, 6 because this number was at most 6. It was also at least 6. This number is not 2 or 3. And although I can do lots of weird things in Somedoku, nothing about Somedoku lets me put a 5 on a black dot. We were able to put a 5 on an X in the last puzzle, but in this case, this still has to be a 6 with a 3. Speaking of the X's, actually, the only combination that works for this X is a 4 with a 6. What's going on in this column? Yeah, 1, 2, 5, 6 are the numbers that are allowed in this column because that's 4 numbers. So that's a 2, and I could just fill in 1, 2, 5, 6. Probably not putting 5 or 6 on the V. Can't put a 2 with a 1 or a 2 on a V either. Technically, we could still put a 2 in this circle. We're not putting a 6 on the arrow, though. So this is a something. Okay, we've got, how many numbers do we have? We've got 2, 3, 5, and 6 within this row. So that's 4 numbers that have appeared within this row. So we only get 1 more number. And that's good / bad, depending on the way you think about it, because we've got to still fit a 16 cage in the row. And none of these numbers can go in a 16 cage that's 2 cells. So that means that the numbers that go in these cells are the same digit. Namely, they're both 8. Which then percolates a 4 along here. So now this number is 2, 3, 5, 6, or 8. Well, it's not 5 because it's on a black dot. It's not 8 because it's on an arrow that adds to at most 6. It's not 6 because it's on an arrow that adds to at most 6. Okay, this number's 2 or 3. So now the minimum sum of the arrow actually is 3, so it's not 2 anymore. Interestingly, now this cell can't be 1 because 1 plus 3 isn't big enough. And it's not 5 either, because 5 plus 2 is too big. So now that's a 2. And now this is a 3 because 2 is too small. Somehow we have created our very own like Goldilocks and the Three Bears story here. 2 plus 3 is 5. And that 3 makes that a 6 and a 4. Going in over there. Okay, so that was very productive. Okay, this column is probably worth thinking about for a second, because column 8 of a Somedoku puzzle is always going to have 8 distinct digits, meaning it's going to have 1 repeat, and we've already seen the repeat. It's this double 2, which means that this can't be a 2, it's a 6. I love this long string of 6s running across here. Okay, so that means this X now can't have any repeated digits. So it can't be 1, 9, 2, 8, or 4, 6. So this is a 3, 7. And the black dot sorts it out. So this is the 3, and that's the 7. Making that a 6. So that actually tells me what this V is, because I'm not allowed to have repeats in the row. So aside from 1 pair of repeats, which is this 2, certainly if I make this a 2, 3, I've now repeated like a bajillion things in the row. So that's a 1, 4. Okay, so now I have to decide, am I going up or down from the 6? But if I go 6, 5, 4, I've now repeated the 4 as well as repeating the 2. That's too much repeating. So I have to go up to 7 and 8. Okay, now let's look closely at this row. So we've got 2, 3, 4, 6, and 7. How many numbers is that? That looks like 5 numbers. So I need a 6th number in row 6, which means this V can't be 2, 3. It's got to be 1, 4, so I can sneak a 1 in there. And what about row 7? Let's do the same sort of investigation. We've got a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5, and a 7 and an 8. That's 6 numbers. So we need a new number to show up in here. I should note, by the way, because of this 10 cage, I suppose I should have done this first. This is 6 or 9. I guess 6 and 9 are both new numbers. So I'm going to be in decent shape as far as that's concerned both ways. Yeah, so this is going to be 5, 7, or 8. So this row is going to be happy regardless, because whether this is 6 or 9, it's new, and I have the right number of digits, because 5, 7, 8 is always old. So we probably have to look at this column then. This column has... Well, I guess one way to look at it is this column has its 2 repeats, because a column with 7 distinct digits needs 2 repeats, and we've got 2 6s and 2 8s already. So I can't put another 6. So in other words, that's a 9 and a 1, which is going to make that a 4 and an 8. Very nice. I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know in the comments how you enjoy Somedoku, and if there's any other like slight twists of Sudoku rules that you enjoy and or would like to see on the channel. So stuff like S cells or J sums or whatever other variations. If there's other like not quite Sudoku stuff that you enjoy, I'd be happy to do some of that on the channel for you as well. So thanks to everyone for watching, and we'll be back soon with more Invitation to Puzzles. Bye for now.